Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video will be a review of the Viltrox AF 23mm f1.4 for Fujifilm X-Series cameras, and this video has several other firsts. It is my first review of a prime lens. You can see my other lens reviews, they're up here, up here. And it's also my first non-Fujinon lens review. So we'll get to the lens review in a minute. We'll do a couple introductory things, then we'll talk about the lens, physical attributes, image quality, and some sample images at the end, and then a summary, including the infamous Doughnut rating. So stay tuned for that. A couple things first. First, this lens was purchased by me, so this video is sponsored by me. Michael Sladek Photography. Yeah. Second, the way I approach lens reviews is fairly non-technical. I'm not worried about micro contrast and pixel peeping very much. I do it a little bit. Or specific bokeh shapes and all that good stuff. I'm more concerned about how it works day to day, how the lens renders images, what if any problem areas are there, and just how does it feel and for the value of the price of the lens. Until recently, if you were a Fujifilm X-Series camera user, your only options for fast prime lenses were from Fujinon. And those lenses are relatively expensive, anywhere from about $600 to about $1,000. The other option you had were manual focus lenses from third parties, and this was due to Fujifilm not opening up their protocols for autofocus until recently. They have now opened those protocols, and in between that happening, Viltrox reverse engineered the protocol, so this is an autofocus fast prime for a really great value, in my opinion, at $329 approximately US dollars. As compared to the Fujinon similar lens, the 23mm f1.4, which is $899 US at this time, which is late August 2021. So let's talk about this lens. The physical characteristics of this lens. This lens is an all-metal construction on the outside, and it feels solid. It's not too big, it's not too small. Let's do a size comparison with the Fujinon 50mm f2 focus. Where are we? There we are, focus. So you can see the size comparison. It's around the same size. It's physically wider. If you want another fun comparison, this is the 50-140 and my 18-135. So as most prime lenses, they are obviously smaller than zoom lenses, but this one is a nice, I think, overall compromise in size. One way I believe that Viltrox has saved money with this lens is this body, this exterior body, is the same size as their other two fast f1.4 prime lenses, the 85mm and the 56mm. So I'm assuming that saves some manufacturing costs. Another way they save some manufacturing costs, I'm guessing, is a clickless aperture ring. Focusing ring is very smooth and well damped, so but I'm not a manual focus guy, so this is the only time I spin this ring. So there you go. It feels like a quality lens, and when we look at the images, you will see it is a quality lens. It's a great value. Spoiler alert. I should have put the spoiler alert first. Sorry about that. So let's talk about some of the other performance characteristics of this lens, specifically autofocus. Autofocus is fast, it's quiet, and in my experience, very accurate, even in low light. It works really, really well. They did a really good job of engineering the focusing system to work with Fujifilm lenses, Fujifilm cameras, excuse me. So very, very pleased with the autofocus performance of this. I briefly used this on my video camera for recording these YouTube videos, and I really liked the f1.4 background treatment of that lens. I stopped using it mainly because this space is pretty small and I don't have very much room behind my desk to put a camera, so the 23mm field of view was a little tight in my space. So on the camera, this lens feels very nice. I pair it with my X-T3, and it's got a nice, the size allows me to grip it nicely, gives enough area to support. The width is helpful in that case to cradle the camera, the lens and the camera body. So I really like how it feels in day-to-day use. And as you know, I am the president of the Zoom Lens fan club. So don't tell them, but I use this lens as one of my primary lenses at the most recent wedding I photographed. And I gotta tell you, I'm starting to see what all the fuss is about with shooting with fast prime lenses. Oh my goodness. It was a lot of fun. This lens performed really well. I'll get to a couple of the qualitative issues I ran into, but as far as having ability to get to aperture of f1.4, which helps you get those blurry backgrounds. I don't know if you've ever photographed a wedding, but the groom's getting ready spaces, usually not that attractive. So the ability to separate and blur the background at f1.4 was a super help in creating those images. So I was pretty pleased with that, as well as in the reception time when it was darker, I'd still be able to have fast shutter speeds with low ISO. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this, and I can again see what all the fuss is about using fast prime lenses. So I'm even so interested in that I'm considering the 56mm Viltrox f1.4 because I have never been able to pull the trigger on the 56-12 from Fujinon. I really feel like I'm supposed to want that lens, but the price of about $1,000 US has always been a little high for me. But the 56 1.4 from Viltrox is also $329 US. So I'm not leaving the Zoom club anytime soon, but I might be a little more diversified in my lens choices in the future. So getting to those qualitative issues I ran into, there's two basic ones that I noticed. First, and this is common in fast primes, both of these issues are. First was there's fringing around high contrast areas, and you run into those at weddings with white dresses and often white shirts from the grooms. So there was some fringing, quick fix in Lightroom in my experience. The other issue I noticed was vignetting in the corners, again when wide open, and that was most common. I noticed it when there was kind of mid-tone backgrounds that were plain, so you could really see it, and I'll show you that in some of the sample images towards the end of the video. I mentioned earlier I'm not much of a pixel peeper, but I am a bokeh aficionado a little bit, or I do appreciate the bokeh. In my experience with this lens, the focus fall off is nice and pleasing, and when you do have the bokeh balls kind of thing, they tend to be nice and round and clean and quiet. They do tend to get a little oval shaped, kind of cat's eye shape as you enter the edge of the frame area. So something to be aware of. Again, I'll show some sample images of that at the end. So let's take a look at some sample images from this lens. I've had this lens for about 10 months at the time of this recording. I got it, I'm recording this in August of 2021. I got this lens in October of 2020. In that time, I've taken a little over 1,000 images. So here's a sample of some of those. Let me know what you think. So this is one of the first ones on a cloudy day, f5.6, the bridge, just nice field of view, nice. One of the things I noticed in this lens, and maybe it's because the images I've taken mostly so far have been on kind of cloudy days, it's got a nice mood to it. It's very pleasing to my eye for my type of photography. Next, we went to Pike Place Market. Well, not next, but the next photo is Pike Place Market. And I really like the richness of the colors here, the ability to capture the glow and the depth and everything. It just did a really nice job with this photo. I've used this lens a little bit for some product photography, for some for my YouTube thumbnails. It does a nice job with its 12-inch minimum focusing distance. You can get pretty close, and you get nice, you can see the focus fall off here. Again, nice rendering, good detail, good sharpness, very, very pleasing for that. Also does nice with nature. Again, this was cloudy day. This was just yesterday when I photographed this, and it just does a nice job. Again, the background blur goes to nice and soft, relatively quiet, and it's just a really nice lens. I'm super tickled with this lens for the price, and the performance of autofocus is just quite good. That's the word I was searching so hard for. You thought I would come up with a more sophisticated word for good, but I didn't. Sorry to disappoint. This is a photo where I'll show you the vignetting that's common in this lens. In this, at the wedding I photographed a couple weekends ago, the groom and his son's shoes on the floor, and the floor is just kind of a white floor here. So you can see in the corners the vignetting that's happening. I generally add a little vignetting to my photo, so I don't mind this. The other way to address the vignetting, obviously you can do it in software, but you can frame your photo a little wide and then just crop out the corners so the vignetting goes away. Easily solved. This will show you the fringing issue. Again, that same wedding, their sign they had made, you'll see around the word August 6th, some red fringing, and around the mountain you'll see, and the Brett and Megan, you'll see some blue fringing. Again, that's a pretty easy fix in Lightroom. So it's noticeable, it's there, it's present. I've even noticed it on the back of my camera screen, so it's there and present. But again, a relatively easy fix, and did not get in the way of the quality of these photos for me or my experience of using the lens. And then you get this, f1.4. This is in the groom's getting ready space, the groom's son, and getting his bow tie set up, and the blue eyes and the blurry background of the messy stuff in that room, just with the window light. Again, a nice, soft, gentle rendering of this, good colors. Just really pleased with how this did. Yeah, I'm a convert to the Fast Prime family. I may have to become the co-president of that fan club. And then the photo outside of the bride, the groom, and their two kids after the ceremony, just showing how this does with kind of a wide dynamic range here on a cloudy day. That's pretty challenging light, and this lens did a nice job. Again, it's a really pleasing to my eye portrait lens. It's got some gentleness in the way it treats skin tones, and again, good vibrant colors. But I'm just super happy with this. Here's the bokeh treatment. This is my highly sophisticated, put the lens in manual focus and point it at the string lights in the corner test for that. So you'll see this is at f1.4. As you get a little closer to the top, near the edge of the frame, the balls become a little more oval shaped. Here's another example, taking a photo of my Stream Deck, and the lights there. And again, I'm really close here, so you're getting a little of the bowing from a wider angle lens. And again, that top left corner one's got a little bit of the cat's eye kind of a look. So again, bokeh on this is pretty nice, pretty clean, pretty smooth. As you get to the edges, it gets a little bit out of round, but $329. It's a great lens. So that's my summary of this lens. It's an awesome lens for the value compared to the Fujinon offerings. I don't think you give up much in the way of image quality, maybe any, and the user experience of fast autofocus and good quality construction. I'm just really, really pleased with this Viltrox lens. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm strongly considering getting the 56 f1.4 from Viltrox as well. So in my opinion, and the summary donut review, is this lens gets 4.5 out of 5 donuts. It does so many things really well, especially for the value that this lens is. The only little, I wish it was different, the clickless aperture. I prefer clicky, and the fringing and vignetting wide open. There you go. My thoughts, opinions, experiences of the Viltrox AF 23mm f1.4. It's a good lens. I highly recommend it. If you have experience with this lens and you would like to share your comments below, I'd really appreciate that. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button. That trains the algorithm to what you think is quality videos, so you will see more of similar content. And if you even want to see more and more of very similar content from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll get to see me once a week or binge watch the videos from the past. And that would maybe be a fun journey for both of us. If you have other comments you want to share about lenses and your experience, again, please leave them in the comments below. Greatly appreciate it. I really enjoy reading those and learning from you all as well as we take this journey together. So I hope you stay well, stay healthy, enjoy creating photos, and have a great time out there. I will see you again in the next video. So until then, I will say bye for now.